Gaming has become an elitist hobby, and we've seen examples of this in history with the Philips CDI, which adjusted for today's inflation would cost around $1,800, or the 3DO Interactive Multiplayer, which puts it at almost $1,500 in today's money. But those were the Wild West days when everyone wanted to jump into gaming. It was the era when platform holders were just being formed. Back then, there were examples of consoles that refused to be sold at a loss. And now history is repeating itself, and I'm waiting for the inevitable price hike from PlayStation once again. Against the backdrop of Xbox console price increases, it's practically unavoidable. Sony is tied to the exact same component supply chains as Xbox. It's also important to note that PlayStations are sold at a loss in their domestic market, which sounds absolutely crazy in 2026. Meanwhile, Xbox Series S now costs as much as the Xbox Series X at the start of this generation. According to Asha, Xbox is facing yet another doubling in component costs, meaning consoles that are basically 7 years old could eventually double their original launch price and hit the $1,000 mark. And the Steam machine completely failed to meet players' expectations in terms of hardware affordability. This week we got hit with 3 massive price news drops. We saw the pre-order prices for GTA 6, the Steam machine prices were revealed, and Xbox dropped the bomb about another console price hike. This begs the question, how much longer can these price hikes continue? And how quickly will the industry find a new business model to keep games accessible? Or will the business just hit a wall with play now and pay later? Can you imagine buying Zelda or Assassin's Creed or even The Elder Scrolls 6 on an installment plan? Not because it's technically impossible, but because the industry is actively looking for ways to maximize player LTV. This specific point in time brutally exposes how deeply big business is affected by global economic turbulence. Asha stated that gaming is becoming unaffordable, and in that phrase there was a glimmer of hope for a shift toward making games and hardware more accessible. But this current price hike feels like complete bullshit. It doesn't seem logical. Was she lying? I don't think so. Gaming and hardware are genuinely becoming an expensive luxury. And actually not becoming. Over the last year, it has become our reality. It's the new normal. The business is restructuring. As a crisis manager, she understands this. But her goal is also to preserve sales and restore the revenue stream while searching for new profit sources. And she stated that we need a new business model and partnerships for hardware as we remain committed for Helix. Asha has initiated a massive purge and restructuring of the Xbox division. Studios like Ninja Theory, Compulsion Games, Dontnod, and Arcane Leon are not making enough money for the gaming division, and lack of IPs on the scale of Gears, Fable, or Halo. However, this doesn't mean the major studios are safe. Bethesda is under Matt Booty's strict control. If they fail to quickly release a new and, most importantly, successful Elder Scrolls 6, both in terms of player count and primarily profit, the studio will face severe restructuring. The same goes for Playground Games. The studio keeps feeding us empty promises about Fable's development. The technical side and Forza engine itself seems to be difficult to work with for creating an RPG, which is probably the main reason why the game is looking so unpolished. But in this case, the studio was given a massive benefit of the doubt, which is now simply unacceptable for Xbox. That's why Asha is watching every single studio that is currently losing money for the division, and if she doesn't believe in a project, the studio will be destroyed. The potential closure of such studios makes perfect business sense. Their game development cycles are long and expensive, and from Microsoft's perspective, the potential profit isn't worth the time invested. For a business, buying, selling assets, or shutting down is a normal situation, but it's important to remember that any process of buying, closing, or finding a new owner for a studio is never quick. Where is the irony here? These are small studios for whom being under the wing of a giant like Microsoft is an absolute plus. Or at least it was. It's a massive risk because the corporation demands unrealistic profit margins from studios whose portfolios consist not of blockbusters, but of rather niche, highly artistic games. These games have a slow burn. They lack massive epic scale, but they are deep, or at least they try to be. And this approach immediately alienates a huge chunk of mainstream players. So, what awaits Xbox and its studios in the next 100 days. Asha has to deliver margin growth significantly higher than 3%. These 100 days likely include the process of closing or selling off compulsion games, Dontnod, Ninja Theory, and possibly Arcane Leon. Fable will be heavily marketed, and I'm also expecting solid news from Bethesda regarding upcoming projects with actual specifics, not just empty teasers. It's entirely possible that other studios will end up on the chopping block. One of the biggest problems in the industry right now is the complete lack of transparency about which games will actually release and which won't. Which ones we should believe in and which ones will flop despite player interest. People used to say that a game's success doesn't guarantee a studio's survival. Now, absolutely nothing guarantees a studio's survival. Take Destiny 2, for example. People poured their money and time into the project, and now it's basically going to comatose. And nobody knows if this will eventually lead to the servers being shut down just to keep Marathon breathing on live support. The live service fever is cannibalizing the industry. Quantic Dream has been stuck in development hell with an expensive Star Wars franchise project, a game we're unlikely to ever see. But in parallel, the studio started making a MOBA called Spellcasters Chronicles, and the game shut down just a couple of weeks after launch. This shows a total misunderstanding of the online gaming market by the executives. There is zero transparency in gaming about what players will be buying, what they will be dumping their money into, and what won't be shut down shortly after. GTA 6 is another example of blind faith. The game has only had 2 trailers and 0 gameplay footage that reveals the core aspects of the gameplay loop. GTA will feature paywall content, which is a terrible sign for the industry, and we aren't just talking about cosmetics. The ability to customize your character in GTA is a core gameplay feature. It's not just cosmetics, it's a fundamental mechanic. Effectively, GTA costs $100. This kind of strategy gives a free pass to other publishers. For instance, I wouldn't be surprised if the next Assassin's Creed costs $80, with a chunk of the main content locked behind a $100 price tag. The only problem is that Assassin's Creed is not GTA. GTA is literally the only game that can get away with this kind of marketing and this kind of price tag. If all these Avoweds, Fables, and Wolverines start charging GTA prices and locking content behind higher paywalls, it will likely lead to poor sales and a massive backlash. At the very least, it could deal a fatal blow to new franchises later on, despite their big names. The industry is literally in agony. Purchasing power is dropping. In May, console sales crashed violently. The Steam machine didn't become the cheap entry point into PC gaming that many expected. $1,300 for 2 terabyte version is a lot. The only thing saving Valve from a disaster here is Steam itself. It remains the single most stable revenue source in the entire gaming industry. Not a single digital storefront or live service game can match the stable profit stream of the Steam store. The console war is in full swing. Right now, manufacturers are competing to see who can hold out the longest without raising prices. For the first time, PC and consoles are practically equal in cost. An Xbox Series X costs the same as a PC with equivalent specs. Suddenly, PlayStation has become the best value gaming system in terms of price-to-performance ratio. At this current price points, GTA is no longer a system seller like it was during the days of Red Dead Redemption 2 or GTA 4 or GTA 5. The gaming business doesn't know which strategy to follow anymore. It's just trying to survive. It's trying to make money and not break even. These massive development cycles are going to be cut short. The industry is watching how AA projects are selling. It's highly likely that in the future AAA projects will become much more modest in scope, but thanks to the name of a popular franchise, they will still sell for $70 or $80. An all-digital future could also make the situation worse, as it protects the business from losing direct sales. GTA plans to monetize to the absolute max. Following this example, other major players might adopt the exact same playbook. The 2 terabyte versions of Xbox are being completely pulled from the shelves because their price was completely exorbitant. But we shouldn't forget that everyone will perceive this current pricing situation differently. Someone out there will write that if you can't afford a $150 console price hike, then you should be looking for a job, not playing games. Others will genuinely feel the sting and are already feeling how much these prices bite. It's important to understand that business is restructuring right now, and at some point it will plateau. If you just build a new PC for sale, great, may it serve you well. If you built one a while ago, go change the thermal paste on your components. machines. The same applies to your consoles. Take care of your hardware. The paradox here is that games have never been more accessible. Free-to-play titles, indies, massive sales, and subscriptions give players more choices than ever before. But at the very same time, the industry's most desired products are becoming increasingly expensive.